Father, have mercy. Not another one. If I let you pass, will you promise not to make any trouble? That's just my luck. Take the post, Tiernan, they told me. You'll be looking after a village full of old farts. That's practically early retirement, they said. What a load of crap. There's always something. If it's not the deck falling apart, it's a refugee running around biting people. Well, to be fair, he only bit one person. But it was a keeper. I know Mahone can be a piece of shit sometimes, but gods. Now both of them are sick. And Haber's got no clue what's wrong. Which is the only reason that refugee isn't dead. Yet. So, he's sitting in a cage. His wife's crying all day and everyone's pissed. Meanwhile, I'm stuck in the middle of it all. No need to tell me that. But I can't just go back to patrolling the walls. I'd be a laughingstock. I'd rather sit here and hope everything works itself out. I mean, everyone's gotta die someday, right? So whether it's me or them, at least my problems will be over. No, not really. Fortunately. The deck? Nah, just old wood. Honestly, it's the least of my problems. But I've got no way to fix it. Dara's always busy with his lighthouse, and every time I try to do it myself, someone else needs me for something. I can't even sneak out to the tavern because last time some rich bint started complaining that everything here smells of fish. That's a seaside village. What else would it smell of? You do that? That would be a huge relief. Well, maybe not huge. There are bigger problems, but it'd be a start. Truth be told, I don't know why they want it so badly. It's for boats. No one here even uses boats. But, well, you know how it is with old folks. Once they get fixated on something, there's no point in arguing. I'd pay if I could, but this was supposed to be my job. The budget's long gone. But if you're interested, I could teach you a thing or two about home decor. Not exactly standard keeper knowledge, but, well, we all have our secrets. Oh, she's a real piece of work, that one. Her name's Lady Elisa. Something. I don't remember. She came here with her husband. Poor man. I never heard him get a word in. You know, sometimes I regret not getting married. But if I had a wife like her, I'd just end up being a keeper all over again. Surprised? Can't blame you. This might sound odd coming from someone stationed in a glorified fish bucket, but I've got a thing for furniture. The only thing more mismatched than the barracks around here is my career choice. But, yeah, I like imagining places where things fit. Where chairs don't wobble, tables don't look like someone hacked them together with a dull axe, and beds... well, beds don't feel like they're plotting your murder while you sleep. Not exactly a secret I broadcast. Most folks see me as Tiernan the Grumbler. But, hey, we've all got something that keeps us sane, right? Mine just happens to be daydreaming about nicer chairs. Please, try not to make my life harder, all right?
Morris. I hope he's surviving out there. Do you need help settling in, dear? This isn't the best day to start a new life in this place, but we don't always get to choose, do we? What a nasty business with that boy. I'm almost glad my Morris isn't here for this. He's such a bleeding heart. I'm sorry, dear. I hope I didn't offend you. I'm still not used to all this. You see, I was born in Little Grove and thought I would live out the rest of my life there, working in the orchards in the mornings and drinking warm cider with my beloved in the evenings. We never wanted to see the world. I guess sometimes the world doesn't give us a choice, does it? Little Grove was raided by bandits, a local gang that had been terrorising the area for months, growing in numbers with each raid. Their leader, Bald Kate they called her, somehow got hold of a branding iron used to mark outlaws. After pillaging a village, she'd brand some men and women of her choosing. That way, Kate made sure nobody would ever help them, and that they'd have no choice but to turn to her if they wanted to survive. My Morris used to be a skilled tanner. I guess that's why she picked him. Yes, I asked him to. He wanted to run with me, but he was still feverish after the branding. I was worried he'd die on the road. Now, I don't have many kind words for Kate, but she doesn't like her efforts to go to waste. As long as he stayed, she'd make sure he was healed. I hated leaving him there, and I hate to think of what she's making him do, but I hope he's at least still alive. Look at me, love. I'm just an old woman. I've lived a quiet life, never learned any skills Kate would find useful. She has no need for useless mouths to feed, and Morris, well, he didn't want me to stay anyway. He said we'd find our way back to each other, but I'm starting to fear we'll have to wait for another life. Of course I did, right after I got here. The only answer I got was that they're aware of the bandit problem and are dealing with it. But I've heard rumours that the gate is always shut and the keepers are forbidden to leave. So, I've got no hope there. From what I've heard, they decided to stay in Little Grove for a while, drinking my cider to the last drop, no doubt. Not like they have to worry about the authorities. The only ones we saw were the Camelot tax collectors who came by once a year. Other than that, not a uniform in sight since I was a little girl. Oh, Mother bless you, my dear. That's all I could ask for. Please, let me know as soon as you learn anything. Oh, I'm not sure, love. I don't move around too much. I just heard about that fight with the rude keeper, and now poor Cole's locked up in a cage. Him and Patrice make such a lovely young couple. They remind me of Morris and me when we were their age. At first, it wasn't so bad, but now it gets worse every day. We just sit around here, doing nothing. Don't get me wrong, we have food, we have a roof over our heads, and we're grateful for that. But no one trusts us enough to let us do any work. None of us wants to be a freeloader, as they call us. I wouldn't mind a task or two to earn my keep and to take my mind off my troubles. I might not be all hale and hearty, but I've still got two good hands, which is more than you can say about some of the codgers living here. Stay safe, dear.
sun doesn't rise the...
I've already told you I'm not going anywhere. If you want something from me, then... Oh. I don't know you. I'm Dugald. You're not one of us. And you're not local either.
You could have chosen a better time to come here. Kind of poor ambience, if you know what I mean.
Well, at least we have a roof over our heads. My boy Frang and I came here with the others. We left our village because... we had to. Well, I had to. But Frang is a good lad, so he came with me. I took him in, you know?
Found the poor sod at the mill, sleeping in the hay. He was chilled to the bone back then, but I could tell he'd be a strong lad once he thawed out. He used to help out on the farm.
He's young, but he already has a couple of tattoos. Tribal ones. Means he must have been cast out of the Del Rita.
At first, the people in our village gave him dirty looks. But then they realized he wasn't a bandit.
He was a good, hard-working kid. Then they started to treat him as one of their own. Ah, Frang is a quiet boy, and he doesn't talk much about himself. I feel like those days with the Reader are long buried for him. Almost like he never lived them. Roscree. Few shacks and a small field of grain. I was a miller back there. My daughter married a good, hard-working man. Eventually, I gave them the mill.
Still helped around, but wanted to let the young folks learn how to work there. Then this kid, Frang, came along. Everything seemed to be going pretty well.
Of course, something happened. Life here can't just be bearable. Oh no. Everything has to get screwed up somehow. That's the way it goes in this cursed land. My dear Trina and her bairn. Hey. They got caught by a weird beast. I started to hit the bottle and... finally, my son-in-law kicked me out. I left Roscree. And so did Frang. He says he has some kind of life debt. And he won't leave me alone until one of us drops dead. No. Nothing to go back to. Although it's hard to get used to something different when you've been sitting on your ass in one place for your whole life. I didn't expect to become a vagabond in my old age. To be honest, I'm a bit confused about what's going on. Usually it was me who yelled at everyone, and now I feel like a drudge. And this nasty thing with Coll. Poor lad. Shouldn't have ended like that. He and Beatrice got along very well. Let me tell you something. When I saw all these wrinklies around here, I thought this place would suit me. But then all this shit happened. I suspect we won't stay here long.
You've come to put me in the cage. Sorry. Just a bit of grim humor. You know, about what's been happening here. Such a mess, isn't it? Cola's all right, and Beatrice, what a shame. Such a fine girl. Anyway, I'm Ellis. Nice to meet you. What do you need? Well, I'm Ellis. Goldsmithing is my life and passion. And between you and me, I feel like I'm losing my mind without it. When I hold tools and make beautiful things, it feels like I can bring some light into this wretched world. I wish I was somewhere where I could just do some goldsmithing, but I'm a bit scared. So, here I am, sitting on my ass in some village listening to waves and the screams of seagulls and old men. Nothing to write home about, even if I still had one. I was working as a goldsmith in a group of, let's call them business people. I was once traveling with a caravan that got attacked by him. Their chief was a smart guy. The moment he heard I was a goldsmith, he knew what to do with me. He got me converting all the jewelry they stole into new pieces. Do you want to hear what I did once? Ah, come on. They were just people. They treated me well and respected my work. Everyone thinks that every bandit is a heartless murderer. We went to Timberwall. The gang wanted to rob some merchant's house. We holed up in a seedy tavern and waited for the right moment. Then, one night they broke in, came back with a whole load of trinkets. Beautiful stuff. The moment I saw it all, I instantly knew what I wanted to craft. They gave me a couple of days. I tinkered for a bit, and then, ta-da! Brand new merchandise. After I was finished, I dressed myself all nice, went to that merchant's house and went, "Good morning, kind sir. I'm a goldsmith. My work is renowned in all of Camelot. Would you be interested in what I have to offer?" You know what he said? Of course I would. That nonce bought the entire lot, even though I inflated the prices like a street peddler. And when I came back, the others couldn't believe their eyes. I thought I was gonna keel over. I miss that.
They said it would get easier.
Something happened. Frang listens. I'm not from anywhere. Frang is attached to nowhere. I found a home with Dugald. I owe him a life debt. Frang was never a dull reader. Not without a name. Without a name, you are nobody in the tribe. Like me. And if that lasts too long, you must leave. I left and became Frang. Frang. A name, and not a name. Nothing happened to Frang. A stray, taken in by a miller. That's all. Frang cannot be a Dalriada. His mother was. But the tribe decided that he was not worthy of a name. That is why he is not of the tribes. Conquer. Wolf. Strong. Important name. Not seen in the south for a long time. Must be dead. A place without a leader. As I see it, I will finally fall apart. One way or another. There are no tales about a place that survived without a strong leadership. And it's not about kings, nobleshites, or chieftains. Titles are just words that pull the wool over a man's eyes. What's needed is a strong soul with a strong name. And their names mean as much as Frang's. Which is to say, nothing. Now they're a bit like Frang. Strays with no home. But Reese is strong, despite what happened with Cole. Ellis. He's funny. I like him. Rawson. I know nothing about her. And Dugald. A man who became Frang's father. He has my gratitude. Don't bother. Frang never met the Keepers, but the unnamed boy did. Once, a few of them, many years ago, we fought. The unnamed boy survived even though he showed fear. Shouldn't do that. The Keepers approached the camp of the boy's people, but that past does not belong to Frang. I'm Frang.
They said it would get easier.
someone like me. Didn't think anyone would stop by.
What do you want? To gawk at the beast? Well, I'll have to disappoint you. My Cole is not the monster you all believe him to be. So you really don't know? If you're not from here, I'm not sure what could have brought you to this hellhole, but you have my sympathies. Just know that Cole isn't like that. Something is poisoning his mind and soul. I don't know what it is, or why it happened to Cole, but now we're all at the mercy of those damned keepers. One evening there was a quarrel between our group, the villagers, and one of the keepers. They'd had a bit too much to drink and let some comments slip. They hurled insults at us, saying there's no place for us here, that we should just get the hell out of here because things are hard for everyone. Hard? Sure. I bet that bunch of wimps wouldn't last a week outside. All they do is sit in that keep of theirs, thinking they're the defenders of justice. Well, Cole went mad. I've never seen him like that before. He attacked that keeper and bit him. It was serious, but the keeper survived. If it weren't for the other men from the village, things could have ended very differently. Afterwards, they chained Cole up and locked him in a cage. His condition started to worsen. They said a monster like him doesn't deserve a jail cell. Jail cells are for humans. Bastards. This might sound silly, but before we reached the keep, we came near a strange structure. The locals call it the Arch Spire. In the morning, we realised everyone had a strange dream, but it was a little different for each of us. Cole started acting weird after that, and in time, it only got worse. No, only that, well, it didn't make much sense. But he was convinced that something bit him. He kept checking. It must have been some bug. Something changed by the weirdness. That must have caused his fever, his insanity. Well, it was pretty typical. We started a fire and threw some cobwebs into it. Frang brought them back from one of his treks. That boy could always find them somehow. It was our protection from the night and the weirdness. Ellis was on watch that day, but from what he told us, he eventually fell asleep. We were lucky no one slit our throats. I was in a strange place. Dark, full of fog, eerie. I was trying to find him. I called out, but no one answered. I was alone in the night, and then I kept falling, and falling, and falling. And then I woke up. We set up camp near the Arch Spire. We hoped that bandits wouldn't dare to venture into a place like that. Well, now I know why we could have been right. With everything that's been happening lately, I'm ready to believe in every strange thing in this world.
buy something or bugger off. Unless you've already bought from Orla. Then just bugger off.
Pursue potential customers. Listen here, pal. Clearly you don't understand how trading works in a place like this.
I've no idea where you come from, but here, it's the potential customer who needs to pursue the vendor. And that vendor decides to sell to them or not.
It's the vendor who makes the decision, not the other way around. How many people here do you think are offering to exchange goods for coins? I'll tell you, not bloody many.
Yeah, Orla. A woman merchant from the keep. Go on, try giving her your money. I bet she'll just shortchange you and call it a day. She has no wit and no finesse when it comes to trading. I wouldn't mind knowing that myself. She stole a lucrative business contract out from under me and my family, then made herself at home here. Damn those Timberwall merchants.
Everyone's always yammering about Timberwall. Timber this, timber that. Bugger them all. Remember, good business, only with Quanacht. Fair prices, no bullshit. I just told you, a business contract. It's an agreement. Two sides. One sells, the other pays. Sometimes you can also exchange material goods. A barter transaction.
But anyway, it fell through. The captain'd rather deal with that woman. Good riddance to him. Well, it's all water under the bridge now. Yes, Connacht. From a merchant family, to be specific. Though I've always wanted to join the Royal Geographers. To chart the uncharted.
But I broke my leg. Badly enough that I couldn't travel anymore.
After the accident, I was stuck at home, sitting on my ass and looking after the books. It was driving me crazy. Not what I wanted from life.
When that contract I told you about fell through, I stayed here for a bit. Lost track of time. My brother got worried, so he came looking for me. I told him I'm not going back empty-handed.
So he said we might as well do business here then. He helped me set up the shop, then left for home. You've never heard of them? They're a guild of explorers, dating back to the age of legends. They travel across Avalon, documenting all the lost and forgotten places, crawling through hidden caves, discovering old ruins. That's what LSA and I dreamed of, though only one of us got to live it. Oh yeah? Maybe you wouldn't know a good thing if it bit you right in the ass. I swear, people these days. Well, a friend from back home. It was a long time ago. We were both snot-nosed kids who didn't know any better. We'd run around Connacht, drawing maps of every corner we could find. And on the farms, LSA insisted on marking every stone in the fields. My mother used to get on my ass for wasting so much paper and charcoal. Good times. She got in with the geographers, started running errands for them. Well, it was right after my accident. I might have, acted a bit rashly. Said some things I shouldn't have. You know how it goes. We stopped talking, and then she left Connacht. Haven't seen her since. First thing I did when I arrived was ask the locals what this village is called. And they just said, wait for it, the village. There's also a sunken village nearby. So I asked them what that one was called, and they said, the Sunken Village. So I asked what it was called before it was flooded, and they told me, the village. How do you even work with that?
Long enough to know what sells. Not that I'd mind having a wider selection of goods, you know. Some more options on offer. But people here don't need much, so what you see is all I have. Then there's the refugees. For now, I guess they're good business. But long term? Doubt it. Sooner or later they'll run out of money. They don't have any way to earn it since no one wants them here. They'll get kicked out, or they'll just leave and not come back. But there'll be others around to keep the businesses running, more or less.
Bloody hell, look at this! The old place is in a shambles. Bunch of decrepit old coots. They do nothing but shuffle around, stare at walls, and sleep under leaking roofs. Can't even hammer a nail properly. I'm telling you, if I was still working here, this place wouldn't be falling apart. Ah, but I'm not. Oh, shite. I can't even stand to look at it, let alone live here. And who are you? What you want? You another one of Durar's freeloaders? I bloody knew it. Retirement my arse. It's shit. Never a moment of peace. At least when I was still working, there was always something to do. Now, so, what you want? One day, my boy got it into his stupid head that old Gaban is ill. Bullshit. They're all telling me I should do something about it, or else I'm done for. I'll be dead as a doornail in no time. Ha! Like hell I will. I'm still here, ain't I? I've served my time. I've lived me life. And now you can all kiss my arse. So there. Listen, they wanted Heber, that healer from the keep, to come here. He did. They wanted him to look me over. He did. Then he just threw up his hands, mumbled something to himself, and that was it. Hell, I should have been an healer. Wouldn't mind going around being a pain in everyone's arse for a living. These herbs. No idea what they're for. Heber said he doesn't know what's wrong with me, so there's no illness. I'm fit as a fiddle. Ah, good thing that at least the one guy who hangs around, Finley's the name, doesn't nag me all the time. Yeah, right. He'd better focus on his job. Why all the poking around? Get me something to drink, and we'll talk. Ah. So, what was your question? Hold on. Finley is not my caregiver. He's my helper at most. Hey, first of all, I'm not a cripple who needs a decrepit dimwit running round after me. Secondly, do you know the problem with having a helper who's mute? He doesn't bloody talk. I mean, it's not all bad. At least I don't have to listen to even more bullshit. He puffs up like a marshmallow every time he tries to say something, but I don't understand shit. Why all the poking around? Get me some... Then you can kiss my arse. I ain't... Who are you? Another refugee? This place is already crawling with your lot. It's like a Camelosian privy after a feast. In my day, you only saw old, familiar faces round here. And maybe we didn't all love each other, but a local is a local. It was easier to share with others, even when you didn't have much. That's so. Fine. Whatever you say. But yeah, I could see that you don't really look like one of them. Just pass them through then. Shame it had to be now. Not so long ago, we'd have sat down and had a drink with the rest of the lads. Now I come here alone. You asking me? They came here and made themselves at home. I ain't talking to any of them. Orderly. No damn rabble begging at the gates and eating us at a house and home. Yeah, back then, sure, civilians came and went. But housing them, feeding them? We had a rule. No freeloading. But I guess that went out the window, along with our pride. You watch your damn mouth. We did everything we could. I've said it before. We need a whole damn army to keep this region in check. And besides, how do you know these leeches are even telling the truth? Every village wiped out. Just like that? Give me a break. I don't want to talk about it anymore. It used to mean something to be a keeper. You could come in off the streets and keepers would make a man out of him. Now, bunch of spoiled lordlings sold off to Brandon by their daddies for a bag of gold. Treated like they're made of glass. Soft. Weak. The lot of them. What's there to be proud of? You see anything interesting around here? There's this tavern, and plenty of fish in the sea. Decent place to retire, but not much else. Well, if you're looking to sightsee, try the sunken village. Just don't let the locals tear you to shreds. I don't know, but you could put something on the table, and then maybe we can talk. Thank you. That's better. We used to come here, the three of us. Me, Berg, and Fedley. But lately, something's gotten into Berg, and it all kinda fell apart. Hell knows what happened. One day he just stopped talking to us. We went to his house to get him, but he only cursed a blue streak at us. Say, mate, do you feel like talking to an old obla? I feel bad for him, but I've got no more patience. And Finley. Let's just say Finley's no good at this stuff. Now you're talking. Ever since he got so maudlin, Berg usually sits alone by the sea. Let me know what's wrong with him.
Excuse me, could you get me a clean glass? And I mean clean, not just wiped 3 times with a dirty rag. My name is Alyssa Murray, and I'm here with my husband, a very important cloth merchant. But surely you must have heard about our family. Not to brag, but we are rather prominent. I am famed amongst Camelot's courtiers for throwing the most magnificent feasts. Thank you. I designed it myself. I wanted to blend in with the people of the South. The savage tribes, the brave light keepers. I wanted to make an homage to them with my new style, and I do believe I've succeeded. I can feel everyone here gazing at me with awe. Give it a few weeks and everyone here will be trying to copy me. It happened. Well, my Duncan is here on business, of course. A very important contract with the Lightkeepers. I decided to accompany him because I have never been to the South, and I've heard so much about its wild, untamed beauty. So far, it's turned out to be terribly dull. And the smell... it's like stale fish and sweat. Hopefully I don't have to suffer it much longer. Pray, tell me, do you know anyone here who would run a small errand for me? Oh, nothing major. You see, I've had my eye on this beautiful abandoned estate overlooking the sea. It's not very far from here, but it's far enough away from all this rabble. If we stay here for a while, I need a place for myself. You understand that, right? No offense, but I can't keep living in a filthy room at an inn. When I asked the innkeeper to draw me a bath, he brought me a bucket. A bucket! Can you imagine? Fine. The problem is that the manor appears to have some occupants, not legal ones, mind you, who need to be evicted. Forcibly, if there's no other way. You'll do it for me, won't you, dear? Splendid. I can't wait to start decorating. Maybe something nautical, to go with the sound of the waves crashing on the cliffs? Or do you think that's a trifle trite?
You see that? Not one, but two noble ladies in a tavern tonight. That's a rare sight around here.
Aye, I saw 'em. You don't see their kind much in places like this. Makes you wonder what brings 'em down here.
One's Lady Elaine, a scholar from Farshire. Thought about talking to her, but I'd probably just make an ass of myself.
Elaine, eh? Yeah, she's known for her smarts. Better keep your mouth shut around her, unless you want to feel about as sharp as a blunt axe.
And the other one, Lady Elisa. Not as smart as Elaine, but she's certainly posh.
We're in the middle of a real...
You see that? Not one, but two Oi, you're not from around here, are you? Come on, sit down and tell me something about the world out there. Don't know. If I knew what to ask, I'd have asked it already. Now that I believe. Everywhere's a mess, even here. I remember when we were held in the same regard as Camelot. Look at us now. They're taken in wimps. It's nothing like the old days. You bet they were. It's all been falling apart ever since they put Captain Brendan in charge. That one's got two coins where his eyes should be, if you ask me. Doesn't care about anyone or anything. He's just looking out for his own skin. Worst captain I ever served under, no doubt. Not that I serve anymore, I'm retired now. Filth everywhere, and it reeks of fish. Everyone's terrified of the weirdness. It's hard to believe I've lived long enough to see times like these. Not that long ago, we used to scare kids with stories about the weirdness. But now? Grown men wet themselves if we tell the same tales. Honestly, I'm done with it all. I don't even recognize this world anymore. And I don't want to. Don't even get me started. Fergus always claims he's busy, but for the life of me, I can't figure out what he actually does. Probably just pretends to work. I talk to Riderick from the museum sometimes, but that one's a real know-it-all. We always end up arguing about how things used to be. If you ask me, they're all just as bad as each other. It's never gonna be the same again. My brothers are gone, and I'm left here, all alone. We had a beautiful tradition. Choosing new keepers was done differently back then. You had to lie down and sleep in a special spot, but that's all I'm gonna say. It's a secret, and it looks like it'll die with me. Huh? Of course I do. In my day, it wasn't sunken. It was a beautiful, lively place. Pilgrims would visit the All-Mother's Temple and Excalibur, and end up in the village. It broke my heart when I heard about the flooding. They say the Druids caused it, but who really knows? It doesn't matter now, who did or didn't do what. It's over, that's all. Now go on, leave me, like everyone else has. There's nobody left with any sense to talk to.
Oi, Noel! What if I pulled Excalibur from that stone, but it broke, but only at the tip? Would I still get to be king, or not?
Ha! You're so daft, Randall.
Beer from Kunacht, wine from Farshire, moonshine, only local, the best there is. And fish, lots and lots of fish. What's your poison? No, I don't recall anything like that. No, listen. I don't know what's going on, but I doubt any of the keepers had anything important on them. Half of them couldn't tell the quartermaster's seal from a pile of horse dung someone stepped on. But that means... no. Impossible. What if... Holy moonshine. I remember. Sigibald. It was Sigibald who left those documents behind. I've no idea how you found out about it. Sigi. He's dead. Taken by a fever. Aye, of course I have. I didn't just throw them in some cabinet. I was afraid they'd fall into the wrong hands. He was a good man. I wouldn't get rid of my only memento of him. Here, after what you said, I assume you'll make good use of them. Even though I'm still not sure what to think about it. Things are getting weirder and weirder in our beloved Avalon. Well, he died like he lived, with a tankard in his hand. The boys always said Sigi was a friend worth 5 others. And he was. He was a prankster like no other. Once, he slipped a rotten egg into the quartermaster's dinner. Never a dull moment with him, that's for sure. no problem. Listen, if by some miracle you really talked... You mean the old pier? Well, first of all, it's not that old. Brennan was already the captain when it was built. Why is it called that? Don't know. Probably because of all those old folks around. A lot has been happening here lately. Plenty of new faces. I definitely can't complain. I'm finally running a proper tavern. People come and go and the regulars drink as usual, as it should be. Daddy will be proud. Hey, not here, obviously. You won't see your old man here unless your name's Dara. Mine sent me here because he hoped I'd make something out of my life. He never wanted me to pour a beer and look at the same tired mugs day in, day out, but as it turns out, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. I got mauled by a weird beast during a hunt, and after that, the captain decided I wasn't any good for active service, so he sent me here. I was bored out of my mind, and since there wasn't one here, I decided to start a tavern. At least I'm not as bored anymore.
What do you want? Who are you? Ha! Guess he's got nobody else to get pissed with. Finley never liked drinking alone with him. Titan tends to get into one of his moods. And? What? That's all? You're bothering me just because that old rascal is sitting alone in the inn with nobody to natter to. You people, bugger off.
What? How dare you? Do you know the meaning of those flowers in that configuration? Revenge. Revenge, deception, and death. There's nothing nice about it, and I don't know if he did it on purpose or if he's just an idiot. But trust me, it's not a nice gesture. Thank you. For them. You are from nowhere, just like me. That's why I believe you. Take those flowers away, burn them, throw them in a cauldron, whatever. I don't want to look at them. Oh, right. I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Beatrice. As for me and Cole, well, we left Ree hoping to find a quiet place to rest for a bit. We planned to travel the King's Road toward Camelot. Well, here we are. We found our bloody Camelot. Cole is locked up and all I can do is shed bitter tears. Yeah, we grew up there. The village was built around a trade route. My parents ran a tavern that stood right by the road. We had a good life. We lacked for nothing. Well, that was before the damned grubwood started spitting out monsters. Then more and more caravans disappeared into the forest. People were telling stories that grew more horrifying by the day. In the end, taking that route meant certain death. The same thing that will happen to every place on this godforsaken island. Ruin. We used to have generous clientele. Merchants and emissaries from all over Avalon. They had deep pockets, always left lots of gold. But that changed. Then our only income came from the villagers, who were getting drunker and poorer by the day. That was always our plan. Cole and I never wanted to stay there forever. Beatrice and Cole from the village of Ree, that wasn't us. Yeah. I doubt I'll ever see him again. I don't think there's anything worth going back for. Each of us has a different story. Some wanted to seek their fortune elsewhere, like me and Cole. Some had to flee their homes because of bandits pillaging their villages, or because of the weirdness. Ree could be one of those places by now. There's so much turmoil in this world. People can suddenly lose themselves, becoming a danger to those they once loved. 2 or 3 weeks ago, things were starting to get difficult. The supplies we brought with us were running low. A larger group of people is always helpful. There's always someone to talk to and share the work with. But it also means more mouths to feed and more worries to deal with. It's not easy. Be careful out there.
So the bitch understood the meaning, yes? I'm glad. They should all be scared shitless. Even more so after Cole got what he deserved. Congratulations on your powers of observation. Those vagrants should know that since they live on our dime, they also live by our mercy. I can do anything to them, and they can't do shit. My plan was perfect. It's necessary. And I don't have to explain myself to you. You're from nowhere, so you're nobody. Become a keeper, and you'll have the right to punch me in the face. But, as it is, you'd only get thrown in jail for starting a fight with a keeper. The refugees are a tumour on the healthy body of the Horns of the South. Remember this, and make wise decisions. Still hanging around? You'll see the You're back! Hi! I told you, Ron is a good guy. And here's a little something for you. You know I pay well. Yes? What's the matter, my friend? You're really good at this today. Wait. Oh. Oh, you're serious. I understand. For so many years, I've been afraid to open this letter. But it looks like I needed to read it. Well, it is what it is, right? And I've been wondering why no one wants to talk to me. I thought to myself, are they mad at me or what? But why are you talking to me? How can you see me? Anyway, may the All-Mother bless your path. See you next time.
Always good.
But a few of us had the winnings are here. Just... Ern, Armand, and Richt. Haven't seen them in a cunning. Oh, yes. Here. Sure.
I like it when things are quiet. I like it when things are quiet.
Oi, friend. A question. Do you know why people always stop and watch a blacksmith at work? Because he's riveting. It's good to see a new face in this sad hole.
Oh, of course. I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Osbert, local master of hammers and anvils. Do you need your blade sharpened?
Oh, not really. Especially since we went into a lockdown a while ago. People used to come and go. Now and then a ship would make a stop at the village below, but nobody's really come around since. Well, since the entire shit show that's going down everywhere. Now that I think of it, you're the first they've let in. What'd you do? Who did you bribe? Oh, so you have friends in Camelot. Good for you. Of course I do. Those pins are peak craftsmanship, and very rare at that. We only gave them out on Camelot's orders. But when I look at you, well, it's pretty obvious you wouldn't be able to beat a knight. And even if you found one already dead, you'd sooner nick his armor than a pin you knew nothing about. Either way, good for you. Yeah, after we lost 2 squads trying to take back the All-Mother's Temple from the Dalrita, our captain decided that nobody leaves the Horns. Then, he shut himself in his office, without leaving us any orders. Feargus is trying to keep the lads occupied, but... just look around. Half of the people here are losing their minds, and the rest are losing their wages on drink. Sometimes I wonder, how many things can go wrong at the same time. They say that misery loves company, but here, it's like we've done something to anger the gods, and they're taking their sweet revenge. First, we started hearing that the weirdness was spreading near Grubwood. Soon after that, we saw waves of bandits approaching from there. Desperate people. They took a lot of our territory. Then, the Dalrita tribes took over the All-Mother's Temple. And after that, the supply chains from Camelot collapsed for some reason. And so on and so forth. We're in quite a pickle, my friend. We've started betting on what's going to happen next. Sea monsters? Who knows? Yes, that damn forest north of here was already cursed and creepy. But now, I've heard it's an entirely different level of crazy. They say that some men here started going dark up north. With that, the weirdness started moving. And when the weirdness gets here, well, we're fucked. But you know that. Every child has heard the stories. Truth be told, most of them are just people desperate to survive. When the villages started dying out because of the weirdness, hunger, or raids, they lost their livelihoods, ended up with nothing to their names, and nowhere to go. So they banded together and started raiding whatever was left. Then they turned to killing each other. They're like rabid wolves. Too bad they're here now, too. That's... I don't know. It's hard to explain. They kept to themselves, perched in the mountains near the Forlorn Swords. Then something happened, and suddenly we saw ships arriving near our eastern shores. Couple days later, the tribes took over. One good thing is that the bandits aren't up to fighting with them. One bad thing, we aren't either. I heard that dew fell down the stairs and didn't break a single bone. So that's a start. Other than that, no, I can't think of anything. Ha! Friend, I wish. But the only task I could use help with might be a bit too delicate for you to handle. Unless you're a master goldsmith, then feel free to prove it, and I'll have work for you immediately. There's just not enough of them to go around. And now that we're on lockdown, there's not much demand for my services either. Listen, I said I don't have any jobs, as in things I pay you for doing. That doesn't mean I can't teach you a thing or two. If you're willing to learn, that is. Since you're free to wander about while I'm stuck in the keep, maybe we can make good use of that. You've probably bashed in the skull of a beast or two, right? The alchemists. They're likely snatching up the corpses, using the muck to cook their weird concoctions. But perhaps you'd rather craft yourself some armor from those hides, huh? We should start with something simple. Let's see. I'll give you some notes on how to make armor. You gather the materials and get to work. And when you're done, you could bring it over so I can see what you've made.
Sometimes it's nice to just...
All mother's tits! I've just about had it with this bunch of repressed virgins. And who might you be? You don't look like one of them. Oh, do I now? You would be too if you had to deal with those sniveling morons when they're up to something. Don't look at me like that. You don't get as far in life as I have if you can't smell bullshit from a mile away. There's something fishy going on here. But I'll get to the bottom of it. And here's a brilliant idea. You're going to help me. I just need you to go to Brandon and find out why that slime ball is pretending not to know I'm here. Tell him I'm waiting with his delivery. Although I'm pretty sure he knows this already. Right. What was I thinking? You wouldn't. You're new here, right? Shit. There's something going on, you know? They don't want anybody to know, but I can feel it. I've been doing business with the captain for years now. Then suddenly I found myself stuck here. They won't let me further in, not even to set up camp in the village. But they won't let me out either. Anyway, good luck to you. Come and visit if you need anything. You do realize you won't score any points with the Keepers by helping me, right? Those holier-than-thou soldier boys have no idea what it takes to be a merchant in this sorry world. The things we have to do sometimes aren't exactly done according to the rulebook. There's a woman from the tribes called Nest. She's my supplier. At least, I think she's still working for me. I haven't heard from her in a while, and she was supposed to bring me some really precious cargo. Something the captain wanted me to arrange. You still up for an adventure, hmm? My guess, and it's only a guess, is that at some point she must have been somewhere around the bay. That beach near the Whale's Tooth.
Rumor has it that Bromar No-Face and his thugs are fond of that place, which wouldn't be good news for Nest. Good luck. And don't worry, I'll pay. No matter whether she's dead or alive. Just let me know what happened. And bring back the cargo, if she still has it. Well, I'll